Yoo-hoo, entrepreneurs! There's Cheri Valentine. How are you? And welcome to the Possibility Partners Show. I'm your host, Ande Lyons, your Chief Possibility Officer, and I help early stage entrepreneurs brand, build, launch their businesses without spending a fortune or wasting a lot of time. And every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, you're going to find me right here on Google Plus Hangouts, sharing Andelicious advice for entrepreneurial adventurers. And this is a 30-minute conversation I have with a seasoned, experienced entrepreneur sharing their best advice to help you and your business grow and thrive. Now, I know you are all about maximizing success, right? So hop on over to andelyons.com and download my free 7 essential strategies for early stage entrepreneurs. It's my best and most favorite advice to help you and your business realize your full potential. And I so want that for you. So today, we are turning to the oh so delicious Cheri Valentine for our weekly dose of entrepreneurial inspiration and information. Let's say hi to Cheri.
Hey, Ande. And hello, everyone out there who are watching live and who are going to be watching the replay. It is so wonderful to be here, and thanks for sending us the love and the energy.
Oh, see, the intentions are starting already. Cheri has such great information to share with us today about how important it is to set an intention before you set your goal. I mean, intentions are the purpose, the why. Goals are the action steps. So we're going to get deeper into that in just a second. But first, let's chat with Cheri about her entrepreneurial adventure. We learn so much from each other's adventures, right? And a lot of times we can relate, or we have ooh, or ah, or oh no, or woohoo. Every entrepreneur has a great story. So let's find out Cheri's, okay? Cheri, how did you end up becoming an entrepreneur?
Well, let's just say it was never an intention, in all honesty, that I was aware of. However, I was being constantly guided. And when I finally decided to listen to that guidance, woke up to it. But I can share some specific steps with you that really did unfold. I've always known, like as long as I can remember, that I'm here to do something. I'm supposed to do something. And I just kept telling myself that, I would figure that out when it was time. And, all the specifics. When my kids grew up, when they got through school, blah, 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 blah. And so that was one clue. Second clue, when I was pretty much disabled for several years, like literally down and out, barely functioning, there was just something inside me that was still driving me to find a way to express myself and to do something meaningful that I could make money and have a sense of independence, especially from the husband at the time who kept trying to tell me what to do. We know how well that works.
I love how the husband at the time.
Love and gratitude. I say that with all love and gratitude. And then I found myself separated from this said ex-husband and empty nester, still struggling with getting my life back from health. And so I really knew at that time I need to find something that's mine, that I create, that makes a difference, that's me, and that supports me in a manner I want to be supported and gives, that lets me live the life I want to live. So that really was probably the opening defining moment for me back in 2006, where I'm like, okay, it's time.
Yeah, right. And health challenges, I mean, everybody gets inspired by some big life event. And yes, there are plenty of entrepreneurs that are just born that way and they're hustling in the driveway at the age of 5, right? But for many, it's a life experience that will shift, or a big moment that happens. And I really understand that your health had challenged you in such a way that you really had to stop. What were you doing before? Share with everybody what you were doing before.
Well,
because
this
you were trained in a very specific area.
This was another clue, I think, for me as far as the entrepreneur in me. I was working for this small startup company, and they were European, and I loved them. First of all, I never thought of myself as creative, but I was in this role where it was very logical left brain. I was running an accounting department, setting policies for travel and expense, and creating how this all worked, creating online forms. But there was so much freedom, and I was just growing. I was thriving, because I would just take it on, and I saw what needed to be done, and I had the vision, and they just gave me the space to roll with it. So it was a fantastic job, and it was a really hard blow to have to, see that go away. They held the job for 6 months for me while I was sick, and after 6 months, there was really not a lot of hope in sight, and I totally understood they needed to move on also. But that was also a gift in its own way.
I love that. So you came back out of your illness with some new insights in life that really gave you an understanding of how you might want to serve the world with your extraordinary gifts. What were they?
Well, I've always had this amazing aptitude of observing relationships. Since the time I was a child, I look back, and it's even now, it's incredible to me the connections I'd make and the sense of awareness I would get watching people interact, parents with their children, within the family. And I've always been fascinated with psychology, with personal growth, with spirituality. So I've been studying these things my entire life, practicing them from different capacities. And when I really have to say, I've danced and jumped in and out of the circle of trusting guidance and trying to control it and force it. So, but I started out really coaching and then healing people with relationship issues, especially around love and partnership. And it started out because I had studied strategic attraction planning. So it's really using the power of synchronicity, using the law of attraction, using inner vibrations and opening up your heart, and actually combining that with also, real life goals, steps, visions. But I learned it for working with perfect customers, to bring in and attract perfect customers. I didn't really resonate with that for some reason, but I resonated maybe because at the time I was back in the market for my perfect husband. I was bound and determined to get it right. So I used the process for myself. At the same time, I was invited to write a column, Finding Mr. Right. I was invited to take up space in a dating agency. And so I said, well, I guess I'm going to help people with relationships. And that was wonderful for a while.
Yeah. Well,
I know that you're going to lead me into some other questions around that, so I'm going to leave it at that for now.
Yeah, because I think it's real important. What happened with Cheri, you're writing the column for Mr. Right, and working on her own finding her Mr. Right. And with the last name Valentine, anybody who was ready to coach Cheri, they were ready to say, hey, this is a perfect area for you. What a great place to be aligned. Relationships, right, Cheri?
Relationships, yes. And there was a part of me that I loved it. It was natural. It was important, but there was something so much bigger behind it that I wasn't expressing and getting out there and working with. So I reached a crossroads where I really knew that it was bigger than that, and I was really being called more into the healing world. And so I dropped a lot of money to be told, oh no, with your experience and your story and a name like Valentine, no, you're doing the right thing. So I went with it, and I followed every step that I was told to do in those programs, and there was a little result. Except I do have a ton of content, lots of programs that I poured my heart and soul in, and that are really applicable regardless of where you're looking in your life, which was always my intention underneath it, so that was great. And so at one point, I got sick again, third time, and realized for me that's my cue where am I not listening? And what it really means is where am I not aligned?
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that I wasn't really putting all this time and energy and effort into building the business that really resonated with what I wanted to be expressing.
Right. And yeah, and it's amazing when life gives us those wonderful, wonderful moments to, I say wonderful, yes, I'm framing it that way for Cheri, because it's not easy when you're sick and you're not feeling well. But it is always a call to some form of action, inner work, outer work. And in your case, you know, you have, I mean, in entrepreneurs, this happens. It's called investing in your business, investing in your business ideas. You do tend to, you know, drop some money. Sometimes it's not well spent, but it's a valuable lesson, and we're always working on our experiments, right?
We are. We are.
Cheri had
Yes,
some great experiments that she invested
I
in. And they taught
did.
you a lot, right, Cheri?
And you know, in the end, when, you know, I allowed myself maybe the resentment and the frustration and the anger and the disappointment to be acknowledged and released, I was able to see the gift in all of it and see really what I learned and how that was still very applicable and why it was actually necessary for me to embrace that and where I'm ending up at this point in time.
That's right. And that's why I find it so important to chat about the entrepreneur's adventure before we get into the actual topic,
Yeah.
because I learned so much from other entrepreneurs' journeys, and I know you do too, and it's important to remind ourselves and see that we're not alone in our experimenting,
Right.
etc. What daily practice, Cheri, do you like to implement to keep you focused and listening and cruising along in your entrepreneurial journey?
It's actually really simple. I start every day by waking up and just literally grounding and centering myself in my energy, just really receiving what the earth can offer me and receiving that strength, that guidance, that
Mm-hmm.
support, as well as also connecting to the divine and
Nice.
allowing myself to be flooded with that energy. I express gratitude for for so many things: my life, my business, my gifts, the healing, the journey,
Yeah.
whatever, you know. And then specifically for things in particular for those recent days, and I just really connect to why I do this. um,
Wow, that's a great idea, Cheri.
yeah, you know, because I there are days, you know, where it's like, oh, you know, and when I'm doing that, when I see that sort of a reaction, I stop and say, well, you know, you have a choice. And that's the most empowering thing for me, is I remind myself I have a choice. I don't have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say that or think it, what I hear is, of course you do. You can't not do this. This is who you are. And then I'm like, okay. And I just totally reconnect to that part of me within.
How wonderful is Cheri Valentine? I'm telling you, she's sharing the best and delicious advice here on the Possibility Partners Show. And we have an amazing live audience sharing the love here today. I'm so grateful to all of you for showing up. Cheri, I'm just going to bring up a few folks who have had some and say howdy do. And I love that we have Sean here, who, apologies for lateness, the trains. Well, we're just thrilled you're here. Thank you so much for joining us live, Sean. That's awesome. And Nicole, hi Nicole. Yes, it is important to find out we are not alone in this journey. I'm finally learning that one. It's great to hear this. Oh, thanks so much for sharing that advice. And then, of course, our delicious Dave Moore. When our work stems from a personal transformation or major change, then we have abilities and understandings that cannot be learned from a book or a seminar. The abilities come from within. Oh, wow, Dave. That's, yeah, Cherie's giving big thumbs up on that one, darling. That's beautiful. And I want to say hi to Richard O. and Michelle, Talbert, and Carmen. How are you guys? Thanks for hopping in live. And Robin Holland and Danielle Miller. Oh, she had a great little comment up here. Ooh, alignment and resonance is so important, and it's a journey for sure. Thank you for that, Danielle. We always love these great comments. And Esther, a new follower, how are you? We're so thrilled you're here too, darling. Thank you so, so much for joining us. Now, Cheri, we're going to start talking about how to set intentions before goals, and I really think it's so important that we quickly recap for everybody, understanding that intentions are based on our passions and our values and our purpose, while goals are external. You know, they're a series of the steps that we take. It's very outside action steps. So intentions, what do they mean to you, Cheri?
Yeah, I don't normally like to read, but I have to share something. 'Cause this morning I was just sort of doing my daily pages, which is one of my new things also to help ground me and keep me centered. But I was asking myself really what it means, and I allowed Spirit to speak to me, and I was really surprised at what actually showed, the way it showed up. So I'm going to read it, and I apologize, but I really want to capture it.
I love it. Go for it.
Intentions are the breath of your goals, the wind beneath the wings of flight. Intentions fill you with life, with energy, and with love. I can't read my own writing. They lift you and remind you why you have your goals. Intentions gently nudge you, whisper to you, encourage you. Intentions help you connect to your truth and keep you aligned and in harmony. They help balance the masculine energy of goals with the feminine energy of holding space so the goals can be realized.
Oh my gosh. How beautiful is that? I mean, the breath right there, you had me. Amazing. We got to get that transcribed, Cheri. That's beautiful. And how do you use intentions in your daily life with your business?
I check in with my intentions always before I look at my goals. Because, and here's why. When I set goals, oftentimes they're pretty empty. There's nothing fueling them, and I find I'm not really taking any action on them, and I get a little frustrated. So I started to ask myself why that was, and I realized, because of what I just said, that there was nothing fueling them, nothing whispering, there was nothing behind them. And so I realized when I started first with what is my intention, what is it I want to create, who do I want to be? How do I want to show up? What do I want to bring into my life? And when I came from that perspective, my heart is speaking, and I'm being guided by Spirit. And that seems to have so much more energy for me. So then now I can look at, okay, what are the steps I need to take? So this is real. And it becomes my reality.
I love that. And so how does one set an intention? It can be from anything, right? It can be from, I know Kelly Rudolph was on here in August, and she talked about before you sit down for a focused session of 50 to 90 minutes, sit down and set an intention for that. To an intention before a networking event, or an intention before a meeting with a client, or as we did today before the hangout, an intention for our hangout. How does one do this?
For me, I like to tell you to, first of all, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Like, why am I going to, sit down for the next 90 minutes and work on this project? What do I want to get out of it? What's the result I'm looking for? What do I want to bring into it? And so then that will kind of fuel you and give you the answers that you need for your intention. Because again, I love to really look at intentions and link it to the power of choice. We have a choice in every minute of every day of how we show up, of how we look at things, of what we believe, and I think so many times people feel so disempowered because they feel like they have no choice. And when you remind yourself you do have a choice, I have a choice to come to this show or not. I have a choice to embrace it and enjoy it and fill it with love, or to resent, or how I can look at it any way I want and choose and show up that way. And so I think intentions really help us connect to who we are and how we want to be and show up.
Right. So, the next time you're meeting somebody for a coffee, a client, or before you get on a radio show, or before you start an important project to you, really hold the intention of that project. Well, why am I meeting with this person today? Well, I want to establish a deeper connection and see if there's a possibility I might be able to work with them in some way. Or before you go into an event, what do you want to bring to you and to others in that event? Or before you sit down on that ebook you might be writing or a project you're working on for a client, what is the intention of that? Well, I'd like to get further along. I'd like to have this experience. Really bring in that why, bring in what is you, and it is all about choice, because you're having the choice to sit down and create this wonderful moment. Cheri, can we share with them our favorite intention story?
Please, let me just share one quick thing for that so I don't forget.
Yeah.
I wanted just to say about the intentions too. It can be, it doesn't always have to be real specific. I know for myself, what started me in some ways was I chose that my intention always was to be present and to be coming from a place of love and trust that to guide me. And that has gotten me some really difficult decisions. And when there were times I had to do things and I really didn't know why, and they really set off a lot of things inside of me emotionally, I would just connect to that intention of being present and being in a place of love. And that would really help. So you can even set intentions that are a little bit more broad that will then guide you to even deeper or more specific intentions. So just wanted
I
to
love
share
that. I love that. And I don't know if folks watching know about Molly Apple and Joe Dunn. They are the relationship coaches that wrote the book, The Soulmate Experience. And they actually, before they go to a cocktail party, they'll sit in the car and do something very similar to what you just said, Cheri. How can we be more loving with ourselves and others at this event or this cocktail party, and get to know people better and on a deeper, more compassionate level? You'd be something very holistic like that. Or something more driven, so to speak, as far as unfolding the advice that you want to share via, in my case, an Andelicious Minute or on the Hangout or something like that, right, Cheri?
Right.
So, Cheri and I know each other locally. She's hanging out today down in Florida, where she is for a month, visiting family. But she is normally just up the road from me about 40 minutes, and we get to go to a lot of events together. She's so much fun to do things with. And we sit in the car usually before we walk into an event, thinking about what we want to say. We bring a lot of spiritual goodies to our intention, and Cheri has a very wonderful way of doing these intentions. Well, one day, though, we forgot to do it in the car, and there we are in downtown Cambridge on a very busy road, about to enter IBM's Innovation Center, okay, just to sort of set the tone of where we were at for this event. And Cheri, tell them about the bag that you carry with you.
Okay. So part of my training and in the work that I bring into the world is through shamanic healing. It's a very spiritual practice as well as an energy practice. And I have a mesa, which is basically my medicine bag, is an easy way to say it, but it's filled with stones that have been charged with healing, and I use them for everything. So for whatever reason that day, I just decided I would I brought it actually because I had something for Ande that I was having being charged by my stones. So I whipped it out of my briefcase that I had actually gotten from another IBM event.
I know, and what's really funny is that Cheri gets really intentional when she does her intentions. So here we are, busy street, cars are whizzing by outside of IBM's Innovation Center, and she's got her mesa bag here, and her hands are there, and I'm there, and she gets really serious, and she's like really bringing in the intention and calling it in, and I cannot stop laughing because it's a situation comedy. We were out there in the middle of the street, and what were some of the wonderful thoughts you were very focused on while I was giggling the whole time?
Each time I'm really in a zone when I'm doing this, but we were definitely grounding, and we were bringing up and making sure we were rooted and centered in our own energy and light and love, and that we were going in with the intention of being grounded and being present and also connecting and engaging in very meaningful ways. We set the intention so that we would connect with one or two people that would be extremely meaningful for us going forward for our business, and that was probably mostly it. Yeah.
Yeah, but and Cheri does a wonderful job, bringing the light down through our crown chakras, through our bodies, down into the earth, releasing our negative energy and bringing in love and light. And sure, we always have great results, don't we, Cheri, when we do our intentions?
We do.
We do.
Actually do. And even though Andy was laughing hysterically, I set the intention for her that was okay and would not in any way.
Right. It was great. And I made a connection at that event that is so powerful, and she's actually going to be on the show next week, Deborah Crosby, so we'll tell you more about that later.
Yeah.
But I just want to bring up a few more comments here. We have Robin Holland followed up on Delicious Dave's comment, which is, Dave Moore, you make a great case for allowing ourselves to receive from our experiences what we need and not just chase the answers and programs and information.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Okay, another big thumbs up.
Yeah, Shree's giving a big thumbs up on that. Robin, that is Delicious advice in a really big way. Thank you for that, because it's so easy to think that the answer is going to be in someone's quick blueprint way of fixing your business, and it isn't. You really have to bring your own integrity and your own style into it. Also, Richard O., one of our devoted fans who we love and adore, intention is such a sleeper of a tool. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's, not many people talk about it. Really, it's a wonderful, wonderful way of doing business. And I want to say hi to the so wonderful Carmen. I really love the spirit of this event. Thank you so much, Cheri Valentine, and you, Andy Lyons, for being Delicious and having Cheri as a guest. Oh, I'm so lucky to have this friend on with me today. And Cheri has a phenomenal 15-minute tappy break every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern, because she is also, along with all her other amazing talents, is an EFT specialist. Share with everybody what that means, Cheri.
So EFT is emotional freedom techniques, and the quickest way to describe it is that we basically take the principles of acupuncture and combine it with talk therapy. So we're literally tapping, and you do it yourself, on these endpoints. They're the endpoints of the meridian system, which is your energy system in your body. And as we tap, we talk. And I will guide you with the words to say. So the tappy break is just a quick 15-minute. I pick a topic each week, and it's one really you can show up live and tap with me. The replays are always available. And then afterwards, we actually open up the green room for some delicious chat. Sandy's always in the room, so it's delicious.
It's great too. You focus on the challenges entrepreneurs have, which can be, financial, worthiness, fear, doubt, all those things that you really want to not avoid. You want to embrace all those emotions, but you want to tap them through. You really want to get them through your system, right, Cheri?
Yeah, for me, I love it because I feel like it gives you a very safe place to actually acknowledge all of these things that kind of hide out in your subconscious and hide out in your body that need to be expressed.
Right.
And it's the only time I give people permission to be negative. If you're tapping, you can say what you want to say and let it go. But it's really powerful. And there are times, obviously, that just watching a 15-minute guiding sequence can help you, and tapping on your own can help you, and a time when you would want to work with an expert. And I offer that in 3 different ways, actually. We have a Tappy Hour virtual where we use the Hangout forum, and 9 people can come into the room with me, and it's an hour of tapping. But rather than me being this guided on a topic, you get to share. It's interactive, and you get to tap on what you need. So it's really powerful in a group setting. Or you obviously can work with me one-on-one. Individually, I do lots of distance work, whether it's the shamanic energy healing work, or if it's EFT or coaching or mentoring. And I also have a year-long program, which I love. And again, I keep it very limited to 8 participants. It's year-long. We get together once a month to learn like a really big, deep topic. And it's all based on letting go, releasing what you need to set the intentions. We start out by creating a vision, and it's just really powerful. So we combine the group experience, we tap every time, with then the personal individualized, because you get both. So you get the group, the
Nice.
community, and the one-on-one.
Nice. And do you work primarily with entrepreneurs, Cheri, or all walks of life?
You know, my message out there is to the entrepreneur, and but I get people from all walks. I really do. The people though who tend to want to work with me in like more of a committed, visionary program are the entrepreneurs. They are either established entrepreneurs who really just realize, you know what, I just want to be more in alignment with my own truth, or they're starting out and they just love having, they get to start out by tapping into what's right for them as they're exploring and learning and growing.
Right, and there's so many opportunities to have self-talk that just isn't right when you're an entrepreneur because it's edgy living and we're out constantly experimenting with our businesses and some things just don't work out. Sometimes there are serious cricket noises when we produce something that we think is going to be phenomenal. So, you know, you need to practice a little self-forgiveness, and tapping is a wonderful way. But of course, Cheri also works with your energy, and she's just so intuitive on what's going on. It's pure joy for me personally to work with Cheri. And Cheri, what is it that you love most about your business and your work?
Freedom and flexibility.
Here we go. Perfect.
Honestly, I've got to tell you, I'm spending a month in St. Augustine, Florida, on the beach so that I can be closer to one of my grandchildren and daughters, and the fact that I can have that flexibility to go back and forth and do that. In the summers, I like to maybe step back a little bit because it's my time of year, and I live in New England and I live at the beach there. And, you know, I get to still do my gifts, be who I am, love it, and live the life I want to live and have time for myself, which is important to me.
Wow. I so love that. I so love that for you. I love that for anybody to have the life that you want. And you know how I feel, everyone. It's all about building your business around your life. So this is one I'd love to just do before we wrap up. Blow some wahs out there to folks who swung by and said, oh, I wish I could be there, but I'm going to have to catch the replay. So please, here are my mwahs too. Adrienne, Deborah Oakland, Dave Pipe, Allie Poland, Elaine, Barbara Sherry Rose, Tracy Baker, Christopher Pearsall, Gail Harris, Deborah Crosby. I thank you all for swinging by, and for those of you who have joined us live, really for taking time out to share the experience with us. Cheri and I love, 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 and appreciate that you did that. Thank you. And your comments are so enlightening. I can't wait to reread them. Seriously, very, very special. You know, when I'm done and I hit end broadcast, which will just be in a few seconds, I post the link to the green room, and I hope that folks will jump in, feel comfortable to jump in for some one-on-one time with Cheri and me. It's unrecorded, so you don't have to worry about technology or how you look. You can just leave your video, turn your video off if you want. It's about the conversation and the connection. We'd love to see them. Right, Cheri?
You're right. And I just have to say this. Ande, I love you, and I am so grateful to you. And I want all of you to hear this, whether you're a man or a woman. Having a support team in place is key. And, you know, that is one of the intentions I had set long ago, was to really be guided to people in my life who could support me and love me and see maybe what I couldn't always see for myself. And, Ande, you have been one of my top, and I am so grateful to you. And it is because of Ande, seriously, that I am even in a hangout, that I'm running my own hangout, that I'm embracing this technology, which, by the way, speaks to my heart in a way I would never have known about, because I love the interaction and the personal kind of thing that the Hangout allows me to do. So thank you, Ande.
Oh, that was just beautiful.
And by the way, and all the rest of you out there, and you know who you are, who are my support team and been in my life, thank you so much. You're all such blessings.
Oh, that's great. We're very lucky to have our relationship. Thank you, Cheri, and thank you everyone who tuned in and live or later. I'm so grateful that you're here. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach me, ping me. I'm always at Twitter at Ande Lyons, or you can reach me, Ande at andelyons.com. If you want any help, I'd be honored to help you with your business in any way. In the meantime, there's my Andelicious Minute, my other Andelicious videos going on my YouTube channel all the time. I'm wishing everyone a wonderful, delicious week. And thank you, entrepreneurs, for having the courage to pursue your dreams and launch your businesses. We're all truly grateful to you. Until next week, when I have the incredibly talented Deborah Crosby. She was nominated as the 2014 Digital Media Coach of the Year. She is a trained actress, and she's the founder of Present to Prosper. We're going to learn about how to captivate our audiences, how to really tell a phenomenal story and inspire action. That's next Tuesday, October 28th at 1 p.m. I had to think about that. Until next week, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you, some of you in the green room. Otherwise, mwah, have an anti-licious week. And thank you, Cheri, again, for showing up and sharing. We love you, and your great intention information is phenomenal. Bye, everyone.